Son got the sauce, boy.
Yeah.
You're so lazy.
You AJB? You so stupid.
Joddi on the tribe. You already know who it is, PMG. Been out here doing this here many moons now. Let's go there. I had to get it on my own since I was 13. Had a few red dreams. Had to dig deep. Had to find a warrior within me. Yeah, yeah. The bottom where I come from. So I know what the struggle like. Obstacles I've overcome. Living a troubled life. Yeah. Everything we go through, we supposed to. It's just a part of life. Yeah. Everyone who meets you, you're supposed to. Wrong or right, yeah. Every day's another day to build a better you and a better life.
Welcome to the Wrong Indian Podcast.
Native Americans of all trades, masters of none.
What does that mean? While we have a lot to say, we are not the experts.
But we talk to the experts on a variety of issues.
I'm Kenrick.
I'm Brittany Schulman.
I'm Honeybee Marie.
And this is the Wrong Indian Podcast.
Welcome back to the Wrong Indian Podcast, Season 4, Episode 5. Yat-A, She'aib, Honeybee Marie, Skoden.
Hello, my name's Brittany Schulman. I'm Wakamasun, and if you're watching YouTube, we're not going to talk about my headphones. Just, let it go.
First of all, I love the headphones. Kuits kamadum ventiv, amai to this Quatsan Mamulik. Hey everybody, this is Kenrick, citizen of the Quatsan Nation, always repping where I'm from. We are Native Americans of all trades, masters of none. We are the Wrong Indians.
So, okay, first of all, y'all, I'm beside myself because the special guest today is Chelsea Jones, and she's the beautiful, amazing entrepreneur of Sultry Anarchy Boutique. Chelsea Jones, and she comes from a strong family of Indigenous and Filipino women who have shaped her to become the leader and the woman that she is today. Excuse me. She was born and raised in Washington State. She is from Port Madison Indian Reservation, located in Squamish, Washington. She's an enrolled member of the Squamish tribe, and she is Filipino and Coast Salish. I would say a very deadly combo of amazingness, if you ask me. After wrestling with not being able to find where she fit in the beauty and fashion community, she got this crazy idea and decided to chase it. And then Sultry Anarchy Boutique was born. Sultry Anarchy has taught her to be many things. It also has taught me a lot of things as well. By the way, it has taught her to use her platform to speak up for injustices and Indigenous issues that no one wants to talk about, specifically the murdered and missing Indigenous women and girls movement. She has used her platform to raise awareness and money for programs that bring awareness to the MMIW and their families. Without further ado, Chelsea, welcome to the show.
Hi guys, Dwal Kulapu Tadisha, Chelsea Jones Seedsta Sokwapshed. Hi guys, I'm Chelsea Jones and I'm the owner of Sultry Anarchy Boutique. I just introduced myself in my native language, Lashutsid. So I'm excited to be here.
We are super excited to have you. And it wouldn't be an episode of Wrong Indian if I didn't remind us, if you want the first glimpse, if you want to see Wrong Indian, hear Wrong Indian at the very start, you want to make sure that you're going to a tribe called Geek. We are in partnership with a tribe called Geek, where they host our episode for a week before anyone else gets to see it. And then, if you don't go to a tribe called Geek, you can always check us out at wrongindianpodcast.com or YouTube or Spotify or Apple or all the other places. So just wanted to let you know that. I think we're going to move into our next segment, which is what are we watching? We are so on top of it today.
Man, we're on top of it today.
So we're going to start with our guest, Chelsea. Chelsea, tell us, what are you watching?
So I have been Netflix binging and Disney Plus binging. So I just finished Maid, and I literally ugly cried the whole time. And then to make up for that, I watched A Nightmare Before Christmas. So.
Oh,
How are we the same person?
Literally, the
I
same
like
person.
okay, y'all. Or just to let y'all know that Chelsea is my little mini person, mini me, but I also look up to her as well. I just got done watching Maid, and it chronicles a woman who actually is trying to escape domestic violence and literally leaves her house with nothing and has to navigate the systems that are in place to supposedly assist or help in the situation, and they're really actually huge red tape situation upon situation, and it goes back full circle to her being back in the same situation as well. It's a very important message about what domestic violence survivors have to go through when navigating that system. I'm sorry I got a little down exactly why you watch Nightmare Before Christmas right after that show, after binging it, because it really shows the issues in the world of welfare and assistance and escaping an abuser. So if you are going to watch Maid, definitely I concur with Chelsea to watch something lighthearted and beautiful at the end, because it's a lot. It's a lot.
yeah. Nightmare Before Christmas is the standard from October to December in our house. I don't know why my 5-year-old finds this movie so enjoyable, and my 3-year-old's like, "No, mom, too scary, too scary. We can't watch this." So it's always an interesting time.
I finally got my 8-year-old niece to watch it because she was scared for a long time. She didn't want to admit it. And then she's like, I kind of really enjoyed that. And I'm like, I know you, kid. I knew you would love this movie.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it, it's like, is it Halloween? Is it Christmas? What is it? But it's like, why even debate it? Just enjoy it for like Brittany said, enjoy it for 3 months. I mean, that's what we're doing. I mean, we've had decorations for it already here for Halloween, but then we're just gonna keep them around for Christmas. I mean, why? Why even put them away? There's no need.
It makes sense given where you're at. I mean, I would just love to do a drive-by at your house.
That's
to
true.
watch other people react.
That's
For
true.
those who don't know, he lives in a cemetery.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Chelsea, I don't know if you've known, but
Yeah, I was like, I don't
we
know.
last spoke,
Yeah.
yeah, I live in a graveyard. Yeah.
Oh.
Like
my
literally, not that I can see it. No, I'm in it. I'm literally in it.
Wow.
His neighbors are really quiet.
Oh yeah.
Like all of the
It's a real good community.
all of our Navajo listeners, I heard the audible gasp.
I mean,
it's nice to be the life of the party, isn't it, Kenrick?
I mean,
dream come true.
It is what it is. Who I am. I like to be outspoken, and
macabre.
There you go.
There's my $20 word, so to speak.
Macabre. I always associate that word with Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah. What are you watching, Alfred Hitchcock?
No, I'll tell you what I'm watching. I'm watching a whole bunch of things. Like Chelsea, I too have been diving into Netflix and everything streaming, Disney Plus, Hulu, because I mean, if I'm not working, I try to sit down and escape and watch things. But actually, the biggest thing I really loving right now is that I watch the Internals. I watch Marvel Internals, the movie. And I'm just loving this whole new phase 4 of the MCU and how people are taking it, because it's it almost seems like the older generation of the MCU lovers, the people who started this whole fandom of MCU. And I would like to think I'm a part of that demographic. They're slowly not liking phase 4. They're we don't like this woke MCU now with this Eternals, and there's a whole bunch of equality and there all these things that we're talking about. And I went into the movie I don't care. I don't care about any of that stuff. This movie is a fantasy. you know, if they want to choose to bring in some realism into it and some context so that we all can be relatable, let's talk about the bigger picture of this movie. How, like, humans don't matter.
Oh
How
my
about
God.
how about
I
that?
find it interesting that's your takeaway. I also watch the Eternals. And here's the thing that I find with MCU fans in particular. There's two kinds. There's the kind that are there because they have come in through the movies and the series and all of that. Then there's the kind that have come through the comics. And they're always wanting to compare and go back and forth between, well, this isn't comic book accurate or this isn't fall in line. And Eternals also does. I mean, all the MCU films end up maneuvering the world building so that it lines up with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it was really interesting to see how people took that and how, and I've watched a couple of TikTokers who really talked about this, about like the Rotten Tomatoes score and how the fandom rated it super, like the critics rated it super low. But when you break down who the critics are, it's a lot of white men who just didn't appreciate the movie for what it was. But when you break down, like, you know, the critics of color, it was a much better movie. And it's really
Look,
nice to
let's
see.
just say what it is. Yeah, I mean,
Well, it's really nice to see a group of superheroes or superpowered beings or Eternals who are so diverse and have, you know, there's a deaf one. There's that signs the whole movie. It's like that's just who she is and how she is. There is a wine dad who is just the, you know, he builds all the tech and he's also just a gay black man. And just it's never like an issue of how does it fit in? It just is.
Hold on. Let me stop you there. Because I brought this up. I get it. He is just a gay black man, like you said. There should be no issue. Like, I even talked to my daughters. They're like, yeah, who cares?
Mhm.
But let's go even deeper. He's not even a human. So he's not even like a gay black man. He's essentially a robot who happens to be
Spoilers. Spoilers.
I have a question.
Oh my
No.
gosh,
I have a question.
spoilers.
I have a question.
Spoiler free.
I know. I'm like, oh, I haven't seen it. Have you seen it, Chelsea?
No, I haven't seen it.
Hey, I didn't know nothing
They
about
were gonna
May.
try.
I didn't know
were
anything
gonna
about May.
try
You and May.
And they didn't give it away.
Okay, question. I have
Go
a
for
question for you too.
Okay.
Do it.
Now, okay, you know that I am, I would say medium Marvel Universe knowledge, right? And you guys are like deep dive crazy people. And
We are.
so for the listeners who aren't like are more like me, right? Is Eternals, do we need to know any background? Do we need to know, is it something that we can dive into
Right.
without like being like super into Marvel backstories and whatnot?
Okay, I'll chime in real quick. And I think this is probably like the reason why critics are not liking the movie. Because if you're coming into this movie not knowing a darn thing about the MCU, you're completely fine.
Mhm.
Because it explains it to you. It kind of
Oh,
explains
okay.
it to you of what the purpose of the Eternals are and how they've kind of been around for over 7,000 years. Like, they kind of explain this whole thing and they create, like, you know, a good background story. And they don't really, they do, but not enough according to critics. They didn't really tie it into the MCU enough, which is ridiculous because they do.
Yeah.
So are the critics kind of so the critics are the hardcore deep diving kind of people who aren't liking it, or do you feel like they're just
some of them are
not
just
getting
letting
it?
their racism and sexism show. Let's just be real honest.
okay.
No,
Yeah,
it
I'll
really
agree.
is.
though.
If it really
I'll agree.
is, if you've never seen any other movie and you walk into this movie, you can still find it very enjoyable. It doesn't.
Okay.
It references some of the other things that happens without those needing to be extensive plot points for this movie. And you can also see how this movie in particular is setting up this next phase. So it's actually taking this world that was built in the previous three phases and now expanding it more. Kind of like if you've seen Loki, it's building on what's there and making it much bigger. So yeah, at the end of the
They're
day,
just
humans don't
expanding.
matter.
They're just
Yeah.
adding on a addition to the house that is MCU, right? Is that how you would explain it?
That's a good
Because I
way.
gotta see it. I
Yeah.
really am excited to see it. I just haven't had time to stop and watch it.
Well, I
So-
really did. Well, look, and this will go into mine, particularly for Disney Plus Day. Is in my head, I've never really left quarantine. So to go to a movie, let me just tell y'all. So I happened to be in another city when this movie came out, and I said, "That's the one thing I want to do by myself. I'm going to go see this movie." And this is how out of touch with movie going experiences I was. I went and got my popcorn. I went and got my drink. I went and got my hot dog because that was my dinner. And the movie started.
You don't have to justify it. You could just love popcorn and hot dogs.
And it was my dinner. And I went to, so the movie started at 9:45 and I was there at 9:15. I got all my stuff. I go to the movie theater, and literally as I'm coming in, the last people are coming out. And they're like, "Oh, are you here for the next show?" I was like, "Yeah." She said, "Well, we'll stop talking. We don't want to give anything away." I was like, "Oh, that's cute." So I'm looking around and going, there is absolutely nobody in here. Do I need to leave? I was like, "No, I'm going to sit down and eat my popcorn because there's nobody in here. Let's just take this moment to be okay." And eat my popcorn, eat my hot dog. I thought in my head that there was going to be like other cleaning measures. No, they're literally still just sweeping up the popcorn off the floor and like, here's the next movie. I was even told the guys, if you need me to leave, I will. So you're fine. So I sat there in blackness, eating my popcorn, eating my hot dog with my mask because, you have to have a mask on. It's like, movie airplane style. I didn't realize that there weren't any seating limitations. So it was a full movie theater. So there was a lot of cringe happening in my own personal experience because I've not done that since 2019.
Note to self: take Clorox wipes when I go see Eternals.
So people who are transitioning to going back to the movie theater, I agree. It's such a culture shock now. Just seeing people and knowing that people sit next to you. So I'll tell you my little secret. So I always go with a bunch of people, and I don't go by myself. And selfishly,
where were you?
And well, you didn't let me know, but selfishly, I will always arrange myself in the middle of the group, and I always have my mask off, and I'm just like, "Hey, I know this person. I'm cool."
Right. But this person and this person are still breathing the same air. It's. I know I got my shots, and I know we're okay-ish. And washing our hands, blah blah blah, but it's still cringe.
I'm curious, Chelsea. Have you gone to the theater recently?
I have, but I don't know if it's a Washington thing or just people in my small town. But there's literally no one anywhere at the movies. So when I go to the movies, it's just me and whoever I go with, and then maybe random people throughout the theater. But I've never been to the movies when people are right next to me.
Yeah, and I do.
Yeah.
I get my seats late enough in order to be able to put a seat between me and one person.
Right.
And so that's what I do. And I'm from a small town too, so I don't have that overcrowded movie theater thing.
Right.
And I usually wait even in non-panini times to see a movie when the hype has gone down as well.
Well, I was leaving the next day, and we don't have a movie theater that's close here, so it was.
Right.
And I would have had to take my kids, and they don't want to see that. They're just been bored, and then I would have been sad.
So trying to watch a movie in the panini, as Honeybee said, one flex that we did, we just did it one time. A group of my coworkers and I, we rented a theater and we watched Shang-Chi. And we rented it. And so it got to the point. So when we were going to go watch Eternals, my son goes, "So Dad, public or private?" And I'm like, what? We did it once.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Big flex.
I know now. I know.
Dang.
He's like, I don't know, but we buy out theaters. And I was like,
because that's the other thing, because now some of those I was really sad, especially Shang-Chi didn't go straight to streaming like Black Widow. I'll pay $30. It is what it is. That's what I spent in the movie theater for my popcorn, my drink, and my hot dog. So it's okay. But yeah, I watched it. I watched Shang-Chi last night on my phone, and my husband's like, "Why are you watching it on your phone?" I said, "Because I don't want to get out of bed."
Yeah.
And I actually really appreciate streaming to a level I can't, explain.
Yeah, and Brittany's in the north, and they have snow now, and I'm
Mhm.
sure you're just a toasty little cinnamon bun.
Yes,
So,
I
I
am.
mean, just to kind of circle back to truly like get to what Brittany was saying, and she said it well, and the idea that these critics are just kind of showcasing their racism. It really boils down to the fact that in the MCU, we've always had what they call the Chris's. You know,
Do
there's
you
always
know how many movies star a Chris in the
yeah,
MCU?
exactly. There's Chris
Holy
Evans,
mackerels!
Chris
there's
Evans.
Chris Hemsworth, and there's Chris Pratt.
Oh,
So basically,
Chris
it's what they're
Pratt.
saying is like
Bless his heart.
their leading man has always been a white guy. And so this movie, that wasn't the case at all. Like it's completely inclusive. It's an inclusive environment, because it's basically trying to show you the world, and they can't do that with just a bunch of Chris's, you know.
It's the
So
universe,
yeah, yeah, exactly,
not one
literally,
community. Universe.
exactly.
Yeah, it was a really fun time, and I would love to see it again in a movie theater without like people beside me while I'm masking. Maybe I'll rent out a movie theater. That sounds, fancy.
Bougie.
Bougie.
So that's what are we watching, and we want to slide into.
No, ma'am, we need to know what you're watching.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was watching Disney Plus Day, and I watched Shang-Chi, and I watched all the little they used to have this Pixar shorts, and it was on Netflix and again, I know this stuff because my kids would watch it all the time.
Sure.
But all those shorts that they finally in Disney Plus Day have brought them all back over to Disney Plus. So I'm excited genuinely because I don't have to go to 37 streaming services to watch the same things that I'm watching in one place. Also, the Frozen, the Frozen, it's the one where Elsa's sick. It's a great short. They had so many really good shorts that came into it. But yeah, Shang-Chi, Black Widow's there now. Jungle Cruise, which is actually delightful.
I
Yeah.
went. That was my first
Delightful.
movie in the theater.
It was
Jungle
made for
Cruise.
you, Brittany. It has tons of
I love
dad
that.
jokes.
Throughout and The Rock. It's like this is my jam. So
That was
I
great.
really enjoyed it.
That was a good
Love
one.
that.
So now we'll go into our Indigi-Faves, and this is a segment where we highlight Indigenous businesses and what we're buying, just to encourage you guys to continue to purchase from Indigenous people all year round. And we're going to start with our guest Chelsea. What's your Indigi-Fave?
So I would say Sultry Anarchy, but I don't want to toot my own horn.
Toot,
No, I'm just kidding. But I do have two. So I actually brought my makeup palette. This is Blended Girl Cosmetics. She literally just did a rebrand that I'm obsessed with. Here's the palette. It's really shiny. Ooh. I use this palette all the time, but she just had a rebrand, and I'm literally obsessed with everything she has. And then non-beauty wise is 8th Generation. And Louis Gong is the owner. It's his company. But he partnered with the Snoqualmie tribe here in Washington, and they've expanded in Seattle. So they have a flagship store, and they just had a collab with Starbucks. So obviously I'm going to be over there getting every coffee cup that they collabed with. So those are my two Indigi-Faves.
Yeah.
So you're also going to send your bestie Honeybee
Oh yeah.
stuff, huh? No.
Oh yeah.
I
Merry
get
Christmas.
Oh gosh. What about you, Kenrick?
Well,
Toot toot.
Yeah. Consider myself toot.
Toot.
I was like, dang, Chelsea just put me out there. No, there. I mean, there's tons of Digifaves that I want to share, but for this time around, yeah, I am going to toot my own horn a little bit. I was given the opportunity to work with the DNC, which is, the Democrat National Committee. They reached out to me wanting to know if I would be willing to do an artist collaboration with them. And what actually made it very appealing to me is that I was their first, apparently, the first ever artist collaboration, and it was for Native American Heritage Month. And so of course I wouldn't say no to that. And so I was able to work with two other Native American artists, Jarrett Work. He's an amazing photographer out in Reno. And then we had a young Native royalty, Palma Williams, who was Jarrett's subject matter in a photo that he took. He took this photo and he shared it on Facebook, and I saw it and immediately was like, I need to do something with this photo. And so I reached out to Jarrett and I said, can I design around this image? And so he was completely like, yeah, totally need to do it. And I didn't tell him anything about, the idea that I was going to work with the DNC. And so I reached out to DNC and said, here's what I'm thinking. I want to create a piece talking about climate change and how we as Indigenous people, we've always, considered ourselves the stewards of the land, and how, the land isn't really ours, but it's really something that we're borrowing for our kids. And so that's what the artist piece ended up being. And so the DNC was just very inclusive in bringing us all in and sharing the story of, these three Native American artists coming together, creating this collaboration and creating this one piece that you now can go to the DNC store, which is store.democrats.org. And there's allow me to give myself some credit that it's just a beautiful art piece, with a beautiful photo, a beautiful model. And, it's basically the land is borrowed from our children. And yeah, I was just honored to be a part of it. So if you guys want to take a good look at it, we'll put a link down below on our YouTube channel and on our iTunes. But if you want, you can just go to store.democrats.org and check it out.
And I'm wearing it today. Hey, no, I'm not.
I ordered it today. No, I like, that is really beautiful that you're one of the first artists. That is just amazing. So congratulations. It is a beautiful piece of art, and it's coming from one of our very own, and we're really proud. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And one thing too, like, I was very adamant in, like, please, share that, I wasn't the only one doing it. This was something that, took collaboration, not just with me and the DNC, but me and two other amazing, Indigenous people. And I wanted to make sure that that was shown. So big shout out to Jarrett Work. Great photographer. Look him up. He's an up and coming everything. He does everything. So shout out to Jarrett. And then Palma, she's just an amazing little, tribal royalty. She's a little leader in her community. And so I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more from her as she gets older. So,
and we're borrowing the land from her. So please take care of it.
Well, my Indigi-Fave this week isn't one for me, but it's actually one of my friends, Kelly Begay. She's Kickapoo, Muskogee Creek, and Seminole. And I'm wearing her sweatshirt today. It says "Inhale Sage, Exhale Rage." And her business is called Spitting Sisters. It's not about her. It's actually about her great-grandmothers, Mabel and Maddie. And she has a really great story over there, but I just wanted to pull out something. They were inventors of the good vibes mantra. They were ornery, fun, hilarious, gambled, and chewed tobacco, which is where the Spitting Sisters comes from. And they were pranksters among pranksters. So all of her merch, if you go check it out on spittingsisters.com, has some sort of like cool saying or something that's just, she even has some Res Dogs merch where she's got the characters listed, some Willie Jack things. And on her website, she leaves, keep doing your thing. There's room for you. It's your time. So I'm very inspired. I've got some more coming, but it's, if you like camo, this is a black camo situation. I don't know. I got it because it was warm, and then this is just how I'm living my life. Inhale sage, exhale rage.
I think we did a lot of that during our prep.
Absolutely.
We all did.
So that's Spitting Spittin' Sisters, like spittinsisters.com. That's my Indigi-Fave for this week.
I love that.
That is
Oh
awesome.
my gosh. Okay, we all need that sweatshirt. So we first of all, I really tried hard not to like gush and be a fangirl, but my Indigi-Fave always will be and has been Sultry Anarchy Boutique. And of course, we have the owner of that beautiful boutique here as our guest today. And I just wanted to show you. Okay, so first of all, you can't take me anywhere because I already spilled coffee on this and I had no way of changing it right mid-show. So I'm sorry there's a coffee stain. And it's
That's
way
our honeybee.
so here so here's the sweatshirt. It's so cozy, so warm. What are these called? Crew neck sweatshirts?
Yep.
There's a whole line of that usually come out ever so often, and I have so many. I think I have 4 now. And then the rebranding here, look at that. Oh my goodness, we have leveled up. Here we go. These are Mary Louise.
I
And
love
then-
that all the names are somebody
Yeah.
you know. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I'm all Sultry Anarchy today. My lashes are C. Jones. Look at that. Can you see the longevity of those right there?
Yeah.
And then we actually did a collab, and I haven't really talked about this like to the extent I did on my socials, but we did a collab, and I'm wearing that I'm wearing those the palette on my eyes right now. Here are the colors. It's really used and loved, so don't look at that. And my lip is also from Sultry Anarchy. So here I am. I can walk out the door all Sultry Anarchy all day, every day, because I think Chelsea is such an amazing owner. I love to give to a small, not even small, I wouldn't even say that. I would say a Native woman owned business, and that's where Indigi-Faves come from. That's why we do this, because we want to promote Native owned businesses. We know that we are supporting such amazing individuals, and we are happy to have you. Sorry about that, because I know how much that makes you so nervous. My favorite person ever. So yeah, there
It
we
is
go.
so funny. So speaking of collab, I'm actually wearing the new lashes named after Paula. I don't know if you could tell. And I'm also wearing the Honeybee and Me palette on my eyes too.
Yeah.
So
what's
I was like,
so funny,
it's the occasion. And fun fact, I was literally gonna wear that exact same sweatshirt, and I changed because I was like, you know what, we're gonna wear a t-shirt instead of a crew neck sweatshirt. It's kind of warm in my house.
I mean, I really love that you made that decision, and I was like, I'm gonna go at it, but I'm burning up. This is a warm sweater. Well, I was laughing because we were messaging each other this morning for prep, and I was like, she's like, I am wearing Chelsea was like, I'm wearing the Honeybee and Me palette and Paula Marie lashes, and I'm like, I'm wearing the Honeybee and Me palette and the C. Jones lashes. So like, how can you possibly have anything more perfect for our show and Indigi-Faves?
By the way, I apologize. Was there feedback going on in that conversation, or was it just coming through my headphones?
I think it was you.
Okay,
Is
I'm
Chelsea
glad.
froze?
I'm glad none of
Chelsea,
you.
are
Oh
you
no,
there?
Chelsea's in shock.
Oh no, Chelsea, she's cooking.
Digital divide is real, my friends.
Oh,
We've always said this.
Yes.
She's speechless, is what she is.
Yeah, I gush too much. I fangirl too hard.
You
I'm
went
so
too
sorry,
hard.
Chelsea. I'm
We
sorry.
warned you not to go so hard, but you did, and now
I
we've lost
know.
her
I
completely.
can't help it. She's my
Oh.
favorite person.
I have a question. Are we doing our little transition thingy? Because I think we were probably going to at some point, and I just blew right past it.
Yeah, you kind of
Well,
did.
he forgot the last one, so
I mean, yeah, kind of did, but you know, I don't know if we're still going live or are we just waiting for her? Or are we
We'll just
stopping?
wait for her. Do you want me
She'll
to
be
message
back.
her?
She'll be back. Just give her a moment. She'll be back.
I'm dying in this. sweater.
Welcome
Okay.
back.
Well,
Hey,
My
we're
power
back.
flickered and I left. I was
Oh,
like, what the heck?
we
Really
just-
windy outside here.
all we just said was that we gushed way too hard
Oh, and then I was
Yeah.
like,
and
And you
just
left
burned
me.
you out. You were just
just,
like,
yeah. I was like, sorry. I'm just kidding.
I was like, I can't help it that she's literally my favorite person.
Hey.
Okay. My two favorite people. Oh, I'm sorry,
Hey!
Kenrick.
oh,
My
Kendrick,
three favorite people.
you know. Here I was thinking we bonded.
Aw.
Let me femsplain it for you one more time. Hey.
Ah.
But
Hey.
we're gonna slide
Sorority
into.
sister.
Do we
It's a
want to
APIO
swirly?
thing?
Are you gonna
For the
now
record,
that we've swirlied?
for the
in
record, I love that like she cues it in air. She's like, "Can we do the swirly? We're recording, Brittany. We're recording.
Well, I didn't
Tell
have another
everyone.
way to ask you.
Just give away the magic. That's all. Just give it all
No
away.
worries.
Oh,
So
look, one more time.
So Chelsea, we're gonna go into our interview, but before we do, we have a new game. We have successfully answered whether it's a Navajo taco, Indian taco. We're gonna let that go. Pew, 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 pew. Our new game is called One Must Go. So I'm gonna give you 4 choices, and of those 4 choices, you're gonna tell us what you're keeping, and then the last one is what you have to let go. And
Okay.
I did this one specifically for you, knowing your style, your aesthetic, the beauty that you are, and the things that you like. Wanted to give you these 4 choices super easy.
Okay.
Lashes, lipstick,
Ooh.
bold gold chains, statement earrings.
It's like my whole aesthetic right
I
there.
know. So it's super easy.
We captured
It's who I am. I'm just kidding.
So
Um,
tell us what you're gonna keep, and the last one is gonna go away forever and never have existed, and then you can never ever.
Oh,
my
no.
God.
Oh.
If you're on the YouTube,
on
if you're on the
YouTube.
YouTube, you are missing out. We're not even gonna acknowledge it. Just know that you should come to the YouTube because you're missing out.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Chelsea,
Chelsea, we
what
call
must
this the Uncle Slayer
The
up
Uncle
level
Slayer look.
pack. Yeah.
Up-
So there you go.
Upgrade.
It's upgraded, yeah.
Lashes, lipstick, bold gold chains, statement earrings.
Okay, so obviously, I'm gonna have to keep my lashes because if I don't wear my lashes, I look crazy. Now that I've just like I'm in too deep, I literally wear them every day. So if I don't wear lashes, everybody's like, something's wrong with you. Even with my glasses, I wear lashes. Like it's just a thing. But let me see. I would probably have to let go of lipstick. I need my gold chains and I need my statement earrings because they're from other small businesses. So how could I promote if I get rid of them, you know? And lipstick, I usually don't wear all the time. So I would have to say lipstick.
I guess, mask. It gets hard. I've got so many
Yeah,
stains in my mask currently.
I'm waiting
Now
for
I
the
just
day.
do my makeup from like my nose up.
I'm
That's
not
it.
wasting product
Yeah,
that's gonna come
right.
off on my mask.
Right out
Okay.
here. Yeah. It's true.
So,
though.
well, since we're here and we're in the interview section, I just want to know what has changed with Sultry Anarchy last time we met. You've been on the show before. In fact, it was around the same time
Yeah.
last year, and we know that lots of things have shifted and changed. So tell us what's been going on with Sultry Anarchy.
Okay. So Sultry Anarchy did another rebrand since the last time. So like Paula was showing, it's very like minimal, very neutral. And I think it kind of just upgraded with my age. You know, I love pink, but pink really wasn't doing it for me anymore. And so I like am very neutral, have the gold, very chic aesthetic. And I kind of just translated that into all of my new branding. And then also I don't do clothes anymore, which kind of sucks, but I'll drop like little pieces every once in a while, just because of like COVID and the supply chain, and it's just hard to come by, and it's very expensive, especially being a smaller business, not a small business, but a smaller business.
And I know that you
'cause I'm
also want
trying
to
to
be
sneak it.
inclusive
Yeah,
of all
and
sizes.
right, and inclusivity is really hard too, especially trying to like keep like one thing of like multiple sizes, which I'm like, if I want to wear something that's only in a size like small, medium, large, then that's not fair. Like, I'm not gonna buy that. So yeah, it mainly switched to like more jewelry, accessories, lashes, beauty kind of, instead of like a whole like with clothes and all of that. So yep, that's what we've been doing now.
Oh man. Just for my own sake, the Indigenous Barbie is coming back, right? At some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I
That's
sprinkle,
my
drop
favorite.
it every once in a while.
Oh, I don't
So I'm
like,
like,
where am I going to get my
surprise, sign
peanuts
up.
now?
I know.
Where am I going to get my stuff? And you know,
Yes,
I love
supply chain.
right, and that's like that's it's such a great way to also be concerned about, like, that's what I love about your business and your mindset about where what Sultry Anarchy is that you keep in mind a holistic view of your customer base. So that's really beautiful. And I just want to know, so you have been on the show before, and I'm sure like you can go listen to her, but I want to know for our newer listeners, someone who's just jumping on, is what kind or how did Sultry Anarchy, how did you birth it? Like, how did it come to be? Like the very, very beginnings of it.
Yeah,
She went
so
on like a journey first.
right.
Go ahead.
The
Sorry.
journey is continuing every day. So, life's a journey, not a destination.
Oh, drop
That's
it.
the
You're
name.
welcome. Okay, I'm done. Interview's over. No, I'm
Mic
just kidding.
drop.
Yeah. But so basically, with everybody that knows like the beauty industry, there's a lot, and I guess also the fashion industry, everything is very like either fast fashion, and very unethical. Same thing with beauty, and then affordable, I should say. Anything affordable is very like unethical, and that kind of just didn't sit right with me. And so like for the longest time, I would buy the expensive brands because I knew like it was ethically made, supposedly. But I mean, if I wear a pair of lashes every day, that's like basically 6 days a week, except for when I don't wear them, 1 day a week when I'm lounging. But it started to get expensive because every pair was like $20+ a pair. Like if you wanted a nice pair that would last like at least a week, you would have to spend $20. And at the time, like I didn't have the resources to be paying $20 every week, every 2 weeks. And so like I just started like Googling. And then I found like brands, or like, I guess I would say like a vendor. And then I would be like, hey, so first of all, how's your product made? Second of all, can you show me videos of it being made? And they're like, okay. And so then I like started trying them out, wearing them. And then I would give them to my friends because I would rather do that than like support something that's unethical, just for me being who I am. And then I would give them to my friends. We would go out and people are like, oh my gosh, where'd you get those? Like what store or what brand in Ulta or Sephora, whatever, did you get them? And I was like, oh no, like I personally made these myself. And they're like, what? And then so my entrepreneurial mind was just like, oh, you should like make this into something, because it's a demand. Like people always want beauty products. And then I started thinking of a name, and it like came to me while I was at work. And so Sultry reminded me of like the indigenous glare, because yeah, it's kind of scary, but it's also kind of sultry looking at the same time. Like it's kind of alluring.
It's
And so
enticing for sure.
right. Yeah. And so like me walking around, I glare all the time. It's just who I am. Like even if I'm just sitting, like I'm like, dang, I need to like my wrinkles from glaring so much. But and then I decided to add anarchy on top of it, because like I just think indigenous women and are just so like radical and like very badass, kind of like that. And so I decided to pair that together, and the name was just like, I just took it and ran with it after that. So that's how it is. And so like we were talking about earlier, every lash is named after somebody that I know like personally, and that they've like affected my life, or I've seen them do things in my life that's just like so cool and like radical in their own way. She's like radical in their own way. So yeah, that's why every lash is named after somebody that's close to me.
So wanting to circle back on what Brittany was asking you about, like the changes that's
Right.
happened since we last spoke to you. And I think it's so great that you were able to identify your brand and identify what was working. And
Right.
you can see that right now you're focusing on like lifestyle accessories.
Mhm.
So what was it for you that, other than just like, price, what
Yeah.
actually like triggered you to say, "Oh, no, I think going this change will work"?
Right.
And what was that moment that actually
Mhm.
gave you that that confirmation that, "Oh
Right.
yeah, this is the direction we're gonna go"?
Right. So I feel like when you're a business owner, you have like a brand, like your specific brand. And if you know your brand well enough, you know your audience and your demographic of people. And so for me, like my own personal like style and the way that I do things has like matured in a way. And so I feel like the people that have been attracted to my brand already we kind of like have a certain aesthetic, and so I just decided to kind of market to that demographic, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like for my brand specifically, it's more like very minimal, kind of like more chic kind of things, and so that's how I marketed my brand, because to me my brand evolves when I do. So like I make the changes, and people majority of the time support me because they have been, and just like my demographic evolves the way that I evolve, which is cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
Hanging on to every word, because it's so important to have young Native representation in a world that is so competitive.
Right.
And my what I want to know is, what is your advice or the wisdom that you'd like to let other young Native women entrepreneurs know when starting their own business?
So I think for me, it was the hardest thing that I wrestled with actually, was just like being true to my own self. Like, especially owning a brand and you see other brands like improving like rapidly, and you sit there and you're like, well, if I do what they're doing, then I will improve as rapid, if that makes sense. So for like in the beginning, I tried to like I was talking about a demographic. I was trying to chase a demographic that I knew didn't fit me and like who I was or what I wanted my brand to be. So I think my biggest advice would be just stick to who you are, and like you are your brand. So the way that I live my life is the way that my brand reflects. So like I have my gold accessories. I wear my gold accessories like every day. I wear my lashes every day. It's just about like putting yourself out there for the world, and if they like it, they like it. If they don't like it, they don't like it. And I think that's a thing that I always talk to my sister about, because She owns her own like small bakery, home bakery business, and she makes like the best sugar cookies I've ever eaten. Not because I'm biased, but because they're like genuinely very good.
You
And
told
so
us this the last time,
Right.
And I'm
and
still waiting.
Yeah.
still waiting. I'm
I
still
know.
waiting.
And
I should
there's
just send you
another
guys some. Merry Christmas.
there's
Yeah.
another Indigi-Fave for you all.
Yeah, right.
there.
You're welcome. But yeah, I talk to her all the time about how she's always like, well, people would rather go cheaper, or people would rather go to someone else. And I was like, it's just, you know, the nature of the game, and you can't really take it to heart. So I think that would be another piece of advice, is like, you have to stick true to who you are. And if you're dedicated to your brand, then you know your brand will do what it needs to do, and people will like it what they like. So
Yeah, I want to follow up on that, especially
Yeah.
because those are nuggets of wisdom that you're dropping right now. But in running a business,
Right.
what's something that's helped you in that process of understanding how that works and moving in that entrepreneurial space, that's also just sort of helped you in life, that it wasn't like, oh, that's something I learned, it's like, ooh, and another ooh.
Yeah.
That's who I am today.
Right. Yeah, same. Just noises. But I think just going through life and realizing, like, because I used to be like the biggest people pleaser. I wanted people to like me. I would, what do they call it? Like, I was like a chameleon. Like, I would kind of like blend into like whatever situation I was in. But then like as I got older, I've realized like, nope, this is me. And if you don't like me, then too bad. And so I feel like it kind of just like reflected into my business, because like I was saying, like at first I was like chasing a demographic that wasn't me. And so once I started like, okay, this is me and this is my brand, and if you like it, cool. If you don't, that's cool too. Then that's when I started to realize like, okay, this is how it's going to go.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
You know, like we see a lot of times, or I do, I see what I see when I see other people creating brands, and you know, with the struggle that you're facing too, like in your sister, you know,
Mhm.
they're going to go after cheaper things, or
Right.
they'll go after the masses of this brand that, you know, I can get everything there. But
Right.
at the end of the day, like we as creative people, like we just have to own who we are, and like, that's what you're doing. And you know, what I've seen is that once that following is there and they're committed, they will join you along the ride.
Right.
So I mean, inside, I would assume your social media, like how are
Yes.
you doing in the engagement and building that following?
Yeah. So for me, before I was like, I'm not going to show myself as often because people are going to be like, oh, it's just like another personal Instagram. But I'm like, no, like I am the face of Sultry Anarchy. Nobody else is the face of Sultry Anarchy. So yeah, I'm going to show my face. And so I tried to like be relatable, and just like, especially on social media, it's so hard. Like the algorithm literally changes like every 5 seconds. And so like, especially because I work full time, and having to like be studying like social media all the time. I told my mom I need to hire a social media manager because it's
Everybody
not it.
does.
Right? I'm like, it's not
Everybody
it.
does.
Can you run my personal one? Can you run Sultry Anarchy? But like just being personable to people. And I still am trying to like figure out TikTok, but I mean, you know, just trying to post like even in my own social media, like, oh, this is Sultry Anarchy, like this is, you know, just in my everyday life.
Right.
So yeah, social media is a wild thing.
So on that same vein, and completely not yet, what's your favorite item that you have currently?
Oh, let me see. That's really hard because I'm dropping a whole bunch of new stuff like right before Black Friday. So a lot of that stuff is my favorite, but I can't say anything about it yet because I'm trying to be like secretive. But
You
You're
heard it
just
here,
talking
folks.
to us.
You
I
heard
know.
it here first, folks.
Yeah, right. You're welcome.
We got the exclusive.
Right. Headline news. But I would have to say, I don't know. That's really hard.
See,
Can I just say
you're
my
forcing
whole
her to get the nuggets out.
my whole I know. I just like want to say everything, but I can't.
Yep,
But
you
I probably
can.
would
Why you can't? Why
technically
can't
I
you?
can.
You do it. You
Because
go, boo boo. You
I know.
say it. Everything's your favorite.
I know. Literally
Because
everything.
same.
Because it's me.
Because same.
So everything reflects
favorite-
who I am is me.
Exactly.
Sultry Anarchy is my favorite. Just the
There you
whole-
go. Sultryanarchy.com
Yeah.
is her favorite.
Boom.
That's the exclusive, guys. There
By
you
the
go.
way, just in case we're talking in real time, I'm just letting you guys know that
Yeah.
the Cowboys defeated the Falcons 43-3 right now. Just letting you guys know.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Oh, I'm sorry.
Just in
The
case you're watching on
Cowboys.
YouTube and wondering why Kenrick's just like decked in blue. Because I'm a Cowboy fan, and
Of course, he has to interrupt the for the Cowboys.
The Cowboys.
but it does lead me to a question. Not
Yeah.
nothing about the game, but my question is for you, big picture. What's the big vision for Sultry Anarchy for 2022?
I think for 2022 it should just grow. And especially working like with more collaborations. I want to collaborate way more too. Because that's like my biggest thing. I just love working with other people, and I like showcasing their talent as well. And so that's another one of my big things that I want to do in 2021. Also, I'm going to say it here first too. For my birthday collection this year, it's going to be very indigenous, and it's going to be a lot of accessories. So because of indigenous beauty, and I'm just really excited. So you're welcome. So that might be my new thing. So yeah. So I'm working with a couple people for that specific collection, and my birthday's in April, and I'm already planning now. So it's going to be kind of a big thing. So exciting.
And it's been in the past has been quite an honor to collaborate with you, and we've had a lot of fun putting things out, and I swear every time you have a box that comes out, it's immaculate. And I know that we talked about 2022, and I know we talked about the recent future, but I want to know is where do you see Sultry Anarchy in 5 years? Not only Sultry Anarchy, but Chelsea Jones,
Well,
the person.
Right. So in 5 years, I plan on having at least a storefront in my small town. So I'm planning for that. Because everything's online, but why not have a in-store as well? And so I've been thinking about that. That's in my process. And then I just got a new job in the legal field. So I am working my way up to law school. So hopefully in 5 years, I'll either be graduating law school, already graduated law school, and being an attorney. So that's on top of all this. So
Oh wow, that's
ta-da, 5-year
amazing.
plan. Yeah, that's technically my 5-year plan. So
well,
yeah.
a woman on the go. There you go. So tell us where can we find you? What are your socials? What anything that you want to plug here? Go for it.
Okay. So you can find me on Instagram. Well, Sultry Anarchy on Instagram at shop_Sultry Anarchy. We are on Facebook as Sultry Anarchy Boutique. The website is www.sultryanarchyboutique.com. And then for me, my Instagram is at Chelsea _16. And then yeah, that's it. So as we are doing this in real time, I am prepping for Black Friday. So inside scoop, I'll have a box, a beauty box, and then a jewelry box. Like bundle thing. So that's be on the lookout for that. I'm going to be promoting it this week. And then also, as I was saying, I'm dropping new arrivals right before Black Friday. So probably by this Friday, I guess, I'll be having new stuff. So it's a lot of it is for girls on the go. So it's going to be exciting.
And get in there early, folks,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
My website has crashed a couple times. And I'm like,
Yes.
sorry, they're like, it's not letting me check out. And I was like, I'm sorry. I don't know what is going on with it. I've like just try to get out and like redo it again. I don't know what to tell you.
And I have to
people
sit
would
there.
like try to like, can I send you a PayPal? Like, can I send you PayPal like through the back end? I'm like, no, you have to go through the website. Like, I'm
Just
sorry.
Cash App you. These are the things I
Yeah.
want.
Yeah. That's my sister. She's like, can I just come over and go shopping? Like, I have money in hand. I'm like, well, because you're like 5 minutes down the road, I guess. Yeah. She's
And
like,
that's
I
what
need them
that
for
storefront's
tonight.
going to do. You'll be able
Right.
to go straight to
Right.
Chelsea.
Yep.
I love it. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
Yep.
Chelsea, man, I mean, thank you so much.
Thank
You've thank you for giving us this update of Sultry Anarchy. And if everybody, please check down below. If you're watching us on YouTube, we're gonna have all the links where you can find Chelsea Jones. If you're listening to us, just play it back. We're trying to tell you, go to sultryanarchy.com. But for everyone listening to us at Wrong Indian, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Wrong Indian podcast. Our social media handle is at Wrong Indian. And remember, your feedback is important to us. And don't forget to, you want to make sure you please Brittany over here and make sure you give us 5 stars everywhere you see us. She doesn't accept the 4s or the 3s. I'm okay with all of them, but she wants 5s.
Let's be real. It pushes us up on the algorithm. It makes us more accessible. And don't you want Indigenous content to be more accessible?
And
Absolutely.
it's okay if you give us 3 stars for the cowboy announcement. We understand.
Or you know what? If you want to give us 4, 3, 2, make sure you comment. Tell us. Give us all the feedback.
We're
would
giving the
greatly
1 star to the
appreciate it.
cowboy fan. That's what we're doing. More importantly, to just remember, like we said on top of the show, if you want to hear our content first, please visit a tribe called geek.com. They have all our exclusive audio content. And then every Saturday we drop our videos, and we drop on everywhere you listen to podcasts, maybe Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We drop everything on Saturdays. But if you don't want to search around and you want to go to a one-stop shop for everything Wrong Indian, go visit our website, wrongindianpodcast.com. So, Brittany, this is your spot.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys. Yeah, I couldn't do the bye thing. That's not my thing.